The apple. In 1954, the apple was eaten, a little bite was taken from the apple. Bursary was carved out. Basically to undo university project. They now said they have buildings. They were having quarters in university, but I said, one department should be taking care of these buildings. They called it university property. They didn't, money was not part of the schedule. So in 1954, they created bursary to take care of university property. But in 1957, maybe one thing led to the other, say, why don't we even add finance to the bursary? Then they added finance. Finance left registry and went to bursary. Another greater bite was taken from the apple between 1954 to 1961, which reduced the registry to this. We now register office. London office was under catering guest house. You will find out that works is no longer there and some other, but you still have estate. I think up to today, register still allocates accommodation in University of Ibadan. So the biting continue. You remember the kind of apple we saw in the beginning? Maybe I should get closer to this thing. I don't want to be operating like a pastor standing on this pulpit. In 1960, University of Nigeria brought a novel idea. Say novel idea. So it was the first place where the Dean of Students office was introduced. It was an American system. So from day one, University of Nigeria started with the idea of Office of Dean of Students. That's why the fact that the registrar, the first registrar came from University of Ibadan. It was, UNN was the first university to do that. That bite, it now created a large chunk of the registrar's job was taken. And it was not to be popularized because Ibadan didn't buy that idea until Aboyade panel of 1986 or thereabout. In ABU, something happened and they said that it was the registrar or direct dean or I think a deputy registrar student who addressed the students. They just hammer on that if it had been a professor, maybe the student would not have rioted. Dean of student now came to be part of the university system. Many attempts were made to introduce what we call academic secretary apart from registrar. We have emergence of specialization. In 25, 30 years ago, there will not be chairman of ICT in any Nigerian university. The position our brother is occupying now. So many professionalization now came. We now have advancement office and things like that. And we started having role conflict. We started having dislocation and resolutions. There was somebody called Professor Raide, I think it's Samson Raide, Vice Chancellor, University of Ibadan, who decided, who said he wants to break university administration into chancellery. He now said some part of administration will be under the Vice Chancellor, some part will be under Deputy Vice Chancellor, some part will not be under the registrar. He divided administration into three. He did not actually succeed, but almost all the ideas he had at that time have been introduced gradually over time, so that you now have legal services. In some universities, it's no longer under registrar. In some university, the PRO is no longer under registrar. In some university, the director of academic planning is not under registrar. So this was the idea of the man that and I will tell you what led to that. So as administrators, you need to be very careful, because in those days, our forefathers in this job, they were very, some of them were cocky. I would come to that. Now, Cookie's Commission in 1980 introduced dual registrarship. It introduced that there will be in our divided registry into three. There will be Dean of Students to handle the student matter, Director of Administration to handle council matters and establishment, Academic Registrar to handle Senate matters. But there was a conflict. The first place it was introduced was FUTA, Federal University of Technology, Akure. They had a Director of Administration. They now have Academic Registrar. So the Academic Registrar is in charge of promotion of academic staff, while the Director of Administration is in charge of promotion and the appointment of other people. But the Director of Administration is in charge of deployment. He would want to deploy you from here. You cannot have a department. You are going to have messenger typists. The messenger typists are under the Director of Administration. And when they need to be disciplined, it must be on the other side. Somebody is in charge of council. If you need money, you have to bring it to council. So there was conflict between the two of them, and it was very messy. But 1986 law of FUTA, which was applicable to all federal universities of technology, now resolved that. They reverted to single registrarship, which we still have today. But the Apple did not return to where it came from. Today, we have emerging registry structure, compact registry. In this university now, the registrar doesn't have, I had 42 staff when I was registrar. He was the head of the 42. And I suffered so much, because during Christmas, I started by buying fowls. Let me buy fowls. One day he told me that, guy, you kill yourself. Said, you are buying, when we buy like 35, they will now say it's not enough. We increase it. Somebody will come. And I said, the security in my house is also, I'm in the register office. The drivers also, we are also in the register office. We began until we increase it to a cow. And I said, why don't we just buy a cow and distribute it? That's a matter for tomorrow. When we bought the cow for 2 years, the third year, people started telling the story in the university that I was using it as Sarah. That the registrar in Christmas time will kick out for the personal staff. So everybody was happy. I said that maybe I was using it for, and I wanted to stop. He advised me, if something is good, let's continue. So we were able to continue for the 10 years. But I'm just telling you how that, but he will not have my problem now. Because in this university does not have a register office with 42 staff. Maybe they have 2 or 3. Because most of the things that we have to distribute, this, in the university, when you send something to DR, you say PAR for necessary action. PR will say SCR for necessary action. In fact, that was one of my PR, his name, his appellation is for necessary, because he cannot do more than that. It's for necessary action. For necessary action. 7 people are just saying for necessary action. What do you want to do if everything is for necessary action? The man is going to do the job is the administrator too. He's the one that will now sit down, do 45, write everything. When they now finish the job, nobody will remember the poor man again. So the big man now will now bring a guy will have finished it, and he did nothing. So in the emerging university, there is no room for that. You go to a meeting, you type your report yourself. No typists, no. So that's emerging registry. The other issue is tenure of registrars. In the beginning, the registrar was appointed for a career time until he reached the age of retirement. If you become registrar at 25, definitely you will be there for until you are 60 years of age. But in 1993, there was the Decree 11 of 1993, University Miscellaneous Provision Act 1993, which introduced 2 terms of 5 years each. When you spend 5 years, you have another time, after 10 years, go away. In 2012, it was reduced to 5 years, plus additional 1 year if you have a satisfactory conduct. But today, that 1 year is not given again to anybody. It is now 1 year. I want you to know that the dramatic changes came after Ojo's book. I will talk about Ojo now. There was one professor, J.D. Ojo, in the University of Ibadan. He himself was an administrator like you and me, but later he joined the academy and he became a professor of law. He wrote a book in 1990 called The Law and University Administration in Nigeria. He reviewed this. He observed that people always criticize registrars, that they were led to be too powerful. They were somehow cocky and quarrelsome, that they were controlling too much. They usually lasted 2 or more. You can be sure somebody wants to be there for 25 years. There would have been 2, 3 vice chancellors. He said some of them will say, when something I said, I have been here when Professor This was VC. This is the 4th vice chancellor I'm working with. That should not just be that you are working with the 1st vice chancellor, should not be your hallmark. It should be that you have done so well. So people became annoyed with our forefathers, and they said registrars enjoy monopoly of allocation of certain resources, such as university quarters, official vehicle, use of guest house, and other. They were not interested. Our forefathers were not coming to workshop like this again. They were big men. When we attend their conference, what do they want to teach me there? They were not developing themselves. Are you following? As a result, some of them even got too old that they started sleeping in meetings. The attacks of yesterday led to today's reform. The attacks we are receiving today also will lead to some reforms in future. Are you listening to me now? The complaint that people are giving today, if you don't change, it will lead to some reforms in the future. Ojo said the system whereby officers who are about 35 years of age are appointed to retirement, irrespective of their effectiveness and regardless of their devotion to duty, has to be re-examined. Nigeria has a great number of dead wood among both the academics and the university administration. To give such security or tenure to retiring age is to entrench mediocrity at the seat of power. No matter how long, it will be difficult for such a man who is bereft of ideas to make any impact. Criticizing the then registrars. What was Ojo's recommendation in 1990? This is why one strongly recommends that registrar job should be for a short duration of time of about 5 years, non-renewable term with multiple registrarship. He even said the registrar should not just be one person, and it should be for a short time. When did he say it? 1990. The following year, ASU started a strike. ASU strike of 1991, which went on for 6 months. It dovetailed into 1992. The purpose was improve funding of university. The second one, improve condition of service for academic staff. The third one, they wanted a separate salary scale for academic staff. This matter, no, it was not in any document. But by the time they finished, it was slotted into the law that was to gazette all the decision ASU agreement of 1992. That was how we now have, in just 3 years after Ojo published this, we now have exactly what he recommended, that it should be for a short period, tenure. We now have one term of 5 years, renewable only once. What's the point I'm making here? The point is that the attacks of today, the disagreement of today, the criticism of today, if we are careless with what we do, all these things, one day, it will crystallize into something which will change what we do. Typologies of pegs in round O's of registrarship. Today, I've identified how registrars are put in place. Some registrars, some proprietors of some universities, they just depress somebody and say, Pastor Toye, Pastor Toye, you should be able to be registered. You go, then they will announce on radio, Pastor Toye is now the registrar. And Pastor Toye could just be somebody working quietly in one department. I was in University of Manchester 22. I met somebody who came to attend AUA meeting, and he said he was acting registrar Evangel University. I said, so what is your chair? He said he's a lecturer. He's a lecturer in one of the And the sitting registrar was a friend of mine, John Woodall. I said, what happened to John? He said there is a crisis in the university. So even if there is a crisis, you shouldn't go to a department to just bring somebody. They did it. But later, now in Nigeria, we have seen appointment of registrar from the civil service. Obafemi University had a problem in the 90s after the tenure of Professor Jetuja Aboyade, and they deprived Baba Theophilus Akinyele, who was then Secretary to Government and Head of Service of your state, to come as acting registrar. He was there for about 6-8 months, and he did very well. In Ilorin, Mr. Alao was from the Kwara State Civil Service. He also spent 10 years. Now we have appointment of non-core administration within the university as registrar. Now we have gotten to a point where you may not have served in the mainstream of the registry. They just bring you in. Many people have done well, but it may not be the best. I don't think it's the best, because if you don't learn something from it's very difficult. So I don't know in the future, what do you think will happen? I'm asking you because you are the people on the job now. Me, I'm a man of yesterday. What is going to happen in the future? All the things that we talk about now, all the criticism, all our sloppiness, all the way you don't do things well. When people begin to, it got to a point they said, a professor should even be able to do it. Or maybe they will say a professor of administrator or a professor of business administration should be able to handle it. Now let me talk about university ceremonies. University ceremony, There are issues about university ceremony. Let me go back there. There are issues that I've identified by university ceremony. How many of you are familiar with Kefi Declaration? Kefi Declaration. Have you heard of Kefi Declaration before? What is Kefi Declaration? No, you said you heard about it, you don't know. In 2012, Association of Vice Chancellors of Nigerian University had a meeting in Kefi, Nasarawa State University. That was there. Now, they observe anomalies in the way we conduct convocation ceremonies, inaugural lecture, and none of that. They now brought out a guideline. This is the way it should be done. They brought out a template. That is what is called Kefi Declaration. Do you get it now? So Kefi Declaration has identified this procession, the way procession should take place, who should stand in front, how many people, who qualify to be where, the way you will arrange it. And they said in that guideline that when you say convocation is 10 a.m., you must not wait for anybody. It must start on the dot of 10. This morning, we started this workshop 9 a.m. And by 9:06, Dr. Ogunde has started speaking. But in our public university, when you say convocation is 10, we'll be waiting for one big man. If the man comes 1 p.m., that's when we start. That template says it is wrong. Universities don't wait for anybody at convocation. Now, confirming honorary degree award, that guideline also stipulates the conditions. It must not be given to anybody who occupies a political office when he's still in the office, whether by election or any political office, so that must not be given. But our people have not been following it. And they said honorary degree should be given to worthy Nigerians who have contributed to national development, particularly in the area of education. And we are not following all this. These are emerging issues. Some of our universities we are derailing, and the way we do things these days, it makes it look theatrical. Appointments and promotion. Whether we are not, most of universities now do appointment by now give temporary appointment. Is that the standard way of appointing people? I'm asking you. Somebody wants to be administrator, say temporary appointment. Somebody wants to be a lecturer, you give you temporary appointment. And we now bring all of them together one day and say regularization. In which case that person has gotten used to everybody. Say, okay, he didn't answer question very well. Just approve. Because there is no way anybody who should not be there. If you bring somebody who is a dead wood, it cannot change. My brother yesterday was talking of whether you write meanings in past tense or present tense. Somebody who never knew the difference between go and went, and you make him admin officer, I don't know. The registrar that is going to correct him. Unless you go and buy Brata grammar. You know Brata grammar? You buy Brata grammar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then maybe you'll be coming to you go and get a specialty. Even then, you will still not catch up. Is that okay? So the best thing is that the interview will make sure that this person at least speaks good English. He can write good English. He may not know what we do. All we need to train you is this is the way we write things here. It is not a responsibility to do the job of your primary school English teacher. We don't have the time to do that. If you didn't get something in primary school, you went to secondary school, you never got it. You went to university, you still came out, you can't differentiate between go and went. I don't think we can teach you. So if he needs a job, let him go to some other areas of the university, not administration. Influence of technology. Now, are you familiar with these equipments that I'm displaying? Where is the man from Toru-Orua? Hello? Now, are you sure the two of you there, you are seeing what we are doing? Are you seeing what we are doing? Okay. Now, are you familiar with this? Some of you look so young that you might not be familiar with this Olympia typewriter. Olympia typewriter. Now, are you familiar with this one? What do we call this one? When I was administrative officer 1, 2, this is what we were using to prepare papers. That thing will be running like this, and the paper will be coming out one in 2 minutes. You'll be running. How many of you remember stencil? Stencil. gestational tensile. When you make mistake, there is a red fluid you apply there. Now you put it to this machine, then you'll be rolling. You'll be rolling. At times, ink will splash on it. You go and redo. Now later, some other things came. Later, we have electric typewriter. This one, it was only in the register office of Visa that you'll find it. They'll put it there. And we used to have a secretary. When 2 people were sent for computer training in Lagos in my university, 2 secretaries, secretary of registrar, secretary of vice chancellor, they went for 2 weeks to go and study this thing. When they came back, university bought 2 desktop computers. The one in the vice chancellor office came from private sector. He had used computer before. He was the only one. The one in the registrar's office, when it comes to the money, he will clean the something. She will clean it very well and cover it back. And when anybody can say, this is my computer. So the computer was just a status, it was status symbol. We never saw her type anything on it. But we were surprised. The authority also never sanctioned her. No, she was a powerful woman. She has a bag like this. When she's coming like this, secretary, registrar's office. The major job is for you to prevent you from seeing the register. She did that effectively. You want to see any appointments? Did they ask you to come? Do you have any paper? Spoken English, very fine. That is the only job that I knew she was doing effectively. Now, this is the history. This is where we came from. This is where we came from. Do you remember this one, diskette? We went through diskette. We went through diskette, and now this is flash disk. In fact, there are smaller ones than this now. This is the man who invented the television in Canada. How many of you saw this one? Some of you are too young. You didn't see this. This is when the television came, it was like this. And you must be a big man to buy it. You rate it like a cupboard. It will be in one corner of the sitting room, and they will cover it. Television will not start until 6 p.m., so they will remove it. Everybody in the environment will come and... Now later we have this. Now this is what we have. And I'm sure before, even as we are talking now, improvement is going on. How many of you are familiar with this? This one, what is this one? You must be close to me in age to know it. Eh? So what's the name, sir? Iroyin. Red Division. So the name is Red Division. I don't know of other parts of Nigeria, in the southwest Nigeria. So this thing, they give it to you like NEPA meter. So you must be a big man. You go and pay for it. They will bring it to your house. And usually anyway, when we see it, you must be the biggest human being in your environment. So in those days, there were no transistor radios. So when radio came, radio was in Ibadan, WMBS. Then this thing will start around, I think it starts 2 p.m. or so. When people have gone to farm and come, I say, Boni Baku, Tani Ojoye, dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. So people in the neighborhood, when they hear that sound, they will now gather in front of the house. This is the way they were hearing news in those days. So when it wants to close, we announce that we are closing now. Tomorrow the news will continue. So you will stay outside. It is just in front of the house. But when it's talking, neighboring houses can hear. That is Red Division. But today, what happens? We now have a CNN, we have breaking news and all of that. Today, if somebody dies, in Yoruba land, when Oba die, nobody must mention it. They must not mention it until they are finished the burial. But today, if an Oba mistakenly dies, if he dies in hospital, from that hospital it will be the whole world, we know. You understand? In those days, they will keep, those who know, they will not tell them. They will keep it secret. In the days of the Red Division, you may not hear until after 3 months. Because the story must first be taken to Ibadan. Agodi, it will be recorded. Then from there is no other location. But today, what do we have? And for us, as university administrator, we must be very, very careful. What you are doing now, you are talking to one student. The student might be recording you. What you are doing, okay, there is admission. Usually it is 10,000, but because you are a very nice person, you can just bring 5,000. The boy is recording you. Under 5 minutes, the vice chancellor has gotten it. But if it were in the days of redivision, nobody will hear the story. You remember something happened in the University of Port Harcourt about 4 or 5 years ago, when 4 boys were killed. Before University of Port Harcourt got to know, it has gotten to the internet. It didn't happen inside the campus. So things work very fast now. Now, what of telephone? You remember this? Landline. From there, we came to digital land phone. From there to Raya. Only big Nigerian. And you must be in Abuja, Port Harcourt, or Lagos to work. What do we have now? You now have smartphone. Some of you, in 2004, when GSM came, some of you couldn't have been able to afford it. By that time, I was one of I think they classified me as a big man. We bought SIM card, 14,000 naira. SIM card, MTN SIM card. And the telephone was one big Nokia 1320. So if you don't have 28,000, you can't start. I had to go and look for money to buy for, I think, how many of you? 5 of my subordinates. I said, these people, you are behind the world. When I was carrying this up there, I was like a big man. And I told myself that, how can you be the only one in this office? Now I went to look for money and now pay for 5 SIM cards. I gave to them that you also go and take cooperative to be able to buy telephone. Me, I bought SIM. The SIM, when you carry the SIM, you will be looking back. Maybe your arm robber wants to take the SIM from you. Because if somebody snatches the SIM, where do you get another 14,000? Later, they reduced it to 500 when Grow came. Today, it is free. Well, it is just airtime. MTN came in South Africa. When you buy phone, SIM is inside it. Anywhere in the world, the phone comes with the SIM. But in Nigeria, because we are mumu, they say pay 14,000. And we paid so much. God will forgive them. I'm not going to waste your time on it. Let me go to antisocial behavior. We are faced with problems now. The problems that we faced when I was registered was not as great as what we are facing now. Antisocial behavior. Did you read this story? 3 photo students died in sex room after taking tramadol. How many of you heard the story? So some of you did not hear at all. 3 students in Federal University of Technology, Owerri, they got a girl from Federal Polytechnic Nekede. The girl was not a student of photo, and they have to take tramadol. They were taking turns on the girl, and they wanted to know how long they could deal with the girl and not get tired. In the process, the 3 of them died, and the girl was unconscious. That is the kind of university where you are working now. You know, somebody could take this. Suppose his ambition is to beat you. If his ambition is to go and to harass a staff of the university, what could have happened? Did you read about this? Bowen University expels 29, suspend 27 students. Faith-based Bowen University located in Iwo Town, Osun State, has expelled 29 and suspended 27 indefinitely for various offenses, including drug abuse, protests, and fighting on campus. They gave the names of all the students. That is faith-based university. Don't say we are faith-based, Anchor University. It cannot happen here. We should not deceive ourselves. You must open your eyes. You must open your ears. You must prevent these things from happening rather than allow them to happen to give you bad name. Now, public university, nobody is even searching anything. It is because Bowen is a Christian university, it's because it's a private, that's why they got them. Who can tell how many, the volume of tramadol that has entered UNIRAC today, or ABU, or anywhere, because nobody. It is not in our character to say we open your bag. It's not in our character to go to the hostel to search. So we don't know how many people in our system are using this drug or what they do at night or in the day. So we need to rework our system so that these things, we don't wait until one big problem happens. Do we really know these people, how they are working with terrorists? If they want to turn to terrorists, how dangerous would they be? Did you read this other story? How many people are familiar with this story? How 8 UNILAG students raped, blackmailed 17-year-old colleague. You read that? So these are facts. These are things I saw in the newspaper. I'm not telling you make up stories. This girl, 17-year-old, was raped 8 students. These 8 students they attended the same secondary school and they were friends. And they dealt with this girl. Because of the age, this girl didn't know what to do. She was frustrated, but she was able to get a bigger girl, more experienced girl, who persuaded her to go to the university counselor. And that was how the matter was. So every university must have a counseling unit. There must be women in the university who girls can confide in when something happens. And when somebody confides in you, don't tell another person because you don't know whether the person you are telling is involved. There could be a syndicate. There is a way, and this girl also may not be able to trust anybody. There is a need to make her believe that we are going to help you. Just tell us everything that has happened. And the lady was able to tell her story. And while she was in the health center where they were taking care of her, the parents of the boys, they were persuading her and begging the parents to take 5 million naira for this girl to keep quiet. That is the society where you are working now. That's the level of wickedness. Now, this is not the last wickedness I want to show you. This one is the latest one. How many of you, did you read this? This one is all over social media. Now, this boy is 17-year-old Emmanuel Agbokalode Balogun. Emmanuel Balogun, a 17-year-old graduate of the University of was left drowning by his friend with whom he went celebrating their admission together on Sunday night. I think they had matriculation ceremony. The boy paid the gate fee for the 3 friends. When they got to the hotel, he bought fish for them, 2,000 naira each. So, but they were envious of him that why is it that it's from a rich family? Some of them complained that all girls always like him, and that was the offense. So they went into the swimming pool, and I don't know what the investigation of the police will be. How 4 people will be in the swimming pool, only 1 person will be drowning. Is it that they push it, or they did something that she couldn't come out? This boy was struggling, and the other 3 were laughing. Where he dropped his trouser, they removed the trouser, they removed the money in the trouser, they took it away, they took the phone. And this boy died there. That is where you are working. That is the system you are working. What you, as you are sitting here, what can you do to make life better? And I want you to know that your own children also will go to another university or your own university. So now if you do this work as if we are working for God, because if you see this thing and say, it's not my issue, it doesn't concern me, what is my problem about that? We must be able to find joint solution. This is not a solution. University is not professor this, professor that. That is not the issue. The issue is that all of us, collectively, we must find solution. Now, only God knows how many Balogun like this have been killed, particularly in public university. They will just say somebody is missing. You don't know whether he traveled. You don't know. Are you listening to me now? This one, now many students will be missing. They'll be looking for them. They won't find them because some of their colleagues have manipulated their lives. Now, let's go to admission. This year, release of JAMB admission, UTM admission was delayed by over a month. Over 1.8 million students registered. 1,792,719 sat for the exam. They found examination malpractice of 34,120 students were involved in exam malpractice. 15,145 results were withheld. They were clarifying. They said that some people, it appears, maybe Taiwo Kende, twins, their biometrics look alike, brothers look alike, and they are still checking. Those who were absent, who didn't write the exam, were 55,000. Number that were arrested and they are going to be prosecuted, 100. I'm sure you have listened to the stories. This is the system where you are working. What is the certainty that the JAMB has that this 1 point, that the people who were classified to have good results actually had good results? Only God knows that. But these are the ones that have been discovered. Before 1978, it was the university that was doing admission. You come to university, you apply. The university will screen you. You write the exam. Under the lecturers will supervise you. Now, it has been carried to CBT. Nobody is thinking that Nigeria is not yet ripe for this kind of sophisticated examination. Because Abuja cannot determine, even if I have a CBT center and I have generator, what is the certainty that generator is going to work from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and somebody was asked to come and write exam 8 a.m., another person to come 8:30, and some of the students spent more than 2 days before they could write this exam. Now, we are also relying on telecommunications, which is not which JAMB does not own. Federal government doesn't own it. We are relying on GSM. We are relying on so many things. Now, people have been arrested. There are stories of, they say a professor went to write exam for somebody, a reverend went to write exam, some parents went to the place. It's because the kind of things I've shown you that happen in the university, you know that all the things that we have had can happen. And greater things can also happen. And what is the uniformity in that examination? Look at this center. This center and this center, are they not different? There's a center that is well organized. When I'm here, I cannot see what is happening on the other end. Some other center, you just put the laptops. And what is the functionality of the laptop? Is it the same for every student, every of the 1.8 million students? What of cost of transportation? Somebody is in Ede, they ask him that your exam center is in Ile-Ife. Depending on when you register. Somebody can be in Ile-Ife, the center may turn out to come to Iwo. Depending, maybe Ile-Ife has already filled up when you are registering. So who picks up those costs? These are the issues. And these are the various news reports about JAMB. JAMB did these 76 examination centers. Now, let me go to where we are going to stop. The prospect and place of administrators. This apple has reduced to this. And me, I've left. You are the one eating this apple now. Now, what is your place? What prospect do you have? Are you going to throw in the towel? I want to tell you that you need to be technically savvy. You need to be one of the people solving problems in your university before you can move in the face of all of this. Your attitudinal skill, which I believe Dr. Bola Adebola must have spoken about, your communication skills must be super. ICT skill, which Dr. Ogunde talked about, you need to up your game. You need to improve yourself. Emotional intelligence, you need it. You need critical thinking skills. You need logical reasoning skill. And you need to improve this. Like me now, when I came, before I came, there are things I didn't know. After this workshop, now I will go and sit down again and check some of the things that I've had. Is that okay? So you also, even when you think you are good now, you are still not the best. Because you tell yourself, I can be better. And I will be better. Administrators should invest money in their personal development to help them in catching up with the ever-changing technology. All the times I was registered, it was only 2 times that university sponsored me abroad. All of the other times, this man is my witness. I used my own personal money. I used my money. When I went to Association of Registrars meeting, I carried iPad. I was one of the first 3 that got it. Use your money to develop yourself. You must develop yourself. They should take advantage of different windows of opportunity to acquire higher degrees. By the time any of you here will qualify to start to say you want to be registered, maybe at that time they will be asking for PhD, I don't know. In my time, first degree was enough, but I had more than first degree. I had master, I had PhD. Are you listening to me now? When I prepare my CV, My CV, when I put it down, when you see my CV, when they put 50, you will like to pick my own and read, even if you don't know the content. Whatever you do, make sure that your own is better. Is that okay? If you are a woman and your soup is not sweet, and your husband is eating the soup out of love, go and change it. You know, we can eat the soup. Let's just eat it because it is our wife who prepared it. When they say, how is this soup? They say, it's very good. But if it is very good, you don't need to ask me before. You will be, the way I will be dealing with the soup, you yourself will know it's good. By the time you are the one asking me whether the soup is okay, then there's something wrong with the soup. Because by the time I'm licking 10 fingers, you know you will not ask me whether it is good. Is that okay? So go and improve what you do. They should operate in integrity. Integrity is character will help you where your capacity cannot take you. Integrity. Don't associate, however did to, with anyone in the university who is doing things against the rules. Don't help anybody to do what they say should not be done. When the regulation is against it, don't assist anybody to do it. When they say this document, this information should not be, don't mention it to anybody, it is official secret. Don't say it's my sister. Even your husband at home, don't say, daddy, I'm just telling you. They say we should not tell anybody. Don't do that. Don't tell your wife and say, I'm just telling you because my daddy, this thing, they said no, don't. The truth is that you don't tell anybody. Is that okay? There is nothing secret because somebody will mention it. But if you are the secretary of the committee, whoever mentions it, they will think you are the one. If there is a slight corroboration that somebody had from you, that means you are doing, they will calculate that you must be the one who has been leaking all secrets in the university, and it's not going to help you. The next thing is that they will say they should put you in one corner of the university, should not be allowed to handle any sensitive document again, must not be allowed to hold any sensitive position. And that is enough to kill anybody when he's still alive. Integrity will help you. They should be tolerant and accommodating of academic staff. So don't go around be fighting academic staff. And what's wrong with academic staff? Why do they think that? No. The university was primarily established because of lecturers and students. Is that okay? Is that okay? If you come and join them, you are to support them. So the way it is designed, Now, if you go to church, and they say you are a chorister, you know a chorister. Now, you and the pastor, the use of this microphone, who is going to use it more? Chorister will use the microphone more than the pastor. When we start service now, opening prayer, somebody will give it. The sermon alone could be maybe 1 hour, in some places maybe 2 hours. They now call you to come and sing for 10 minutes. Then you say, well, why is it always the pastor? Each time they want to give a sermon, they will say, pastor. Do you understand what I'm saying? The pastor is talking to the church, but you are here, choir. But your song can facilitate what you are doing, Abi? If you are a drummer, what should you do? Play that drum very well. If they say stop, you stop. But if you now say you go and carry microphone that all of us, we are here together, me also I can preach. Somebody will check you that even you can preach, you are not the pastor of this place. Is that okay? So the way it is designed is that maybe something can happen that will move you from being a drummer to a singer. From there, you can become pastor. It's possible. But as long as you are in that place, what will make you relevant is that when you play that your drum so well that anytime they want to play drum, they must remember you. One day you can try it and be absent. Then they begin to call you, where are you now? Where are you now? Where are you? Where have you actually, you are not in the church. Then you say, I'm coming on Okada. I've got it to so and so. Please, 5 minutes you must be here. That shows you are relevant. Is that okay? As a drummer, that means, though you are not the pastor, you are very, very relevant. What are you coming to do? You want to play talking drum. But they know that talking drum, we need it. When you are not there, people say, why did you two come? Only the absence of things, not their presence, shows their worth. Do your own thing very well that when you are not there, people will miss you. They will miss you. They say, if you had been there, it would have been, the service was good, but we miss your drumming. That means you are a key stakeholder. You don't need to be the center man, and you don't need to be a professor. But you must write your meaning so well that when every professor wants you to be their secretary. I don't know how many of you have that problem. If you are so good, you will have a problem. When they set this committee, they say you should be the secretary. They set another one, they will make you the secretary. They set another one, they make you the secretary. Gradually, if you notice, some people are being forgotten in that same system. They will never mention. If they mention their name, the chairman says, I don't know that you register, you so much hate me. Why is it that you have to give me Mrs. Okorodudu? What I want that pastor to hear, that's the person I want. They say he's the one is the secretary of strategic plan, he's the secretary of convocation. No, I will manage. He has worked with me before. Do you know on the day of promotion here and that professor will be there? When they are now talking, you think they have, people say I don't praise people. On the day, that day you will not be there. Let me tell you, where they will promote you, you will not be there. You don't get any promotion and they will call you. If you are going to be an Oba, you are not going to be in the selection committee. If you will be vice chancellor, you will not be there. But somebody will be there who will stand for you and say, no, this person I know very well. He was my secretary. He will not give all your attributes, and that is the day of your reward. But if you are dodging, some of you, all you want to do now to be faculty officer so that you'll be far away from a registrar. You want to be ambassador so that your office will be like 10 kilometers from registrar. Then you will be big man there. No. Or they want you to come to a star. You say, no, please, why do they hate me like this? You don't want to serve in academic office. Everybody cannot be faculty. If you are faculty officer for 7 years, your career is already being ruined. How many years will you be there that you'll be FO for 7? It is likely that you are not good enough that they can remember you for something better. Is that okay? If you are five years there, go and meet the rest. Our guy has been 5 years here. Can't you move me elsewhere? I want to be moved. Me also, I want to know what they do in ABC. And if you are good, they will move you there. Be tolerant of academics. Don't criticize them. When you work very well, they will respect you. Administrative officer must handle the assignment with speed. Do things quickly. Do things with accuracy. And do things with excellent spirit. Be abreast of development in higher education, nationally and globally. If you are relevant in the nation or internationally, you will be accorded respect in your university. Are you listening to me now? If suddenly they appoint you a national secretary of ANUPA, your university says you are Mr. Nobody, they say you are now the national secretary of ANUPA in Nigeria. Will they say they don't know you? So if you are known nationally, internationally, they will know you. They must be part of international organization. Join AAUA, Association of American University Administration. Join ACRAO. ACRAO is a Association of Collegiate Registrar and Admission Officer. That's US. Join AUA, Association of University Administrators UK. And compulsory, you must be a member of ANUPA. Administrator must help to provide solutions to the myriads of emerging problems. Please try to help the university to solve this problem. Antisocial behaviors. Try to help the university solve environmental problem. Suggest something. When registrar suggested this workshop now, and the university approved it. What are you contributing to that system? Be part of the solution. Don't be part of the problem. They must be part of corporate image building of the university. Talk good about your university. Tell everybody that our university is great. Are you following now? The private university now, I observe something that private university, when you call somebody there, the phone will be advertising the university. How many people have had that before? And the phone will be saying that you should bring your child to their university. That is corporate image. But those of us in public universities say, you will criticize vice chancellor, criticize council, criticize everything. It is money. Money is good. But if you are a member of that community, talk well of that community. Thank you. for listening to me.